So, we return once again today to do the next episode of 3月のライオン. This episode being episode 13. And as we know, now it's getting really heated. Like, that bloke and Ray, oh boy, it's gonna be an even bigger battle than bloody Dragon Ball Z in there. Like, God, it's tense. It's tense as balls. That's what I'm going for. It's tense as balls. But all in all, I'm interested to see what actually does come about this actual. Jesus freaking Christ, that's loud. I'm interested to see what comes about of this arc because, if anything, we might just see an improvement in Ray's character as a whole. Like in essence, we might just see him turn to a different person, maybe actually even grow. We're not too sure. I'm interested. I'm actually kind of hyped. So yes, without further delay, let's get this show on the road. Let's rock and Z roll. So, in 3, 2, 1, let's begin now. Or not. Apparently Crunchyroll will not let me. Oh, wait, no, it did. We're outside. Oh, that aspect ratio. Shaft, you're doing it for me again. You're going the full whack with it. I like it. I enjoy when Shaft go the full way. Oh, yeah, it's a recap, isn't it? I remember now. Damn it! I thought Shaft were going the full way just then. I thought, yes. How can you deny the Momo-chan? It's impossible. You can't deny the Momo-chan. Extra wide recap. The best kind of recap. This is not as kind of extra wide as the old Dragon Ball Z Super recap back in episode 1. When it went back to the original Dragon Ball Z series and you saw the animation change, like, whoa! Extra big recap of like at least 10 years. It warms your heart. It warms your heart. It systematically hurts at the exact same time. This is an extra long recap, you're right. Look at that determination, though. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's like as if he's going to go and take down the final boss of a video game. He's like Link going after Ganon in the end of Ocarina of Time. Did you know how good that felt in the end? Feels like that. That's what I quite like about it. It just you can kind of see the determination in him. He's kind of changed because of it. Like I think he actually has a reason now. It's the other major thing. He actually has a reason to do what he's doing. Because don't get me wrong, there still was a determination before, but it wasn't as strong as now. Like now, it just feels like he has something he must do. That's what I quite like about it. And can we just talk about how beautiful the opening is? Oh my god, it's Arima! Holy crap, it's Arima! He's come back from the dead! He did not die in the Tokyo Ghoul League, and he came back and defeated or Train Ray. It's Gintoki. God, this is... It's kind of... It's different, isn't it? It feels weird. Like, it doesn't feel right. It feels kind of cool at the exact same time. It's gone full Shaft. It almost feels kind of real, if you get what I mean. Oh, that's weird. It's messing my brain. We have literally been shafted by Shaft. Literally. We become Shaft magnet. Damn them. Damn that Shimbo. The bloke's finally lost his mind, hasn't he? That's what's happened. He's finally lost his mind. He's like, Bakemonogatari is finally over. What the f am I going to do with my life now? He's just literally lost his mind. Well, that was different. Literally pure insanity. It was like I've never seen something like that before. It had some kind of weird visual fidelity to it that it just kind of didn't feel right. If you get what I mean, it was just so strange. Like, as if you know it's cool, but at the same time you're kind of questioning the fact of what's really going on with the animation. Yeah, I'm such an ass. He's the biggest ass around. How can you ignore Smith? It's impossible. You can't ignore. Alright, Shaft, we get it. You do really good shots. Just calm down a slight bit. Alright? We get it. Guys giving us like bad rep. We can't do anything like this ever again. Can I just get Gintoge to actually narrate my life? Because it would be kind of cool. Just literally have him narrate my life. Because he has that voice that you just never get bored of listening to. You could literally have him read you 10 books and you would never get bored of it. So good. So good. Oh, it's beautiful. I guess also him ignoring and going just for the two people might just kind of just tell you what kind of mindset he has as a person, what he truly wants to do. Like as if that's all he cares about. The other person he might fight beforehand is nothing. Just those two people in front. He's got to fight. Oh. The OST. The OST. Buenissimo. 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 I love the fact that this show is so bloody tense. For a game, you would never imagine to be that tense, but it's freaking tense. Hey, it snowed in England recently. I feel like it's kind of personifying what happened in England. Like randomly it started raining, but then a second later, snow fam everywhere. It's because he fought Takasuki beforehand. He can't lose to anyone now. He's got to take down Utsuro. That's why he won't lose. That's why he's putting up that countermeasure of mankind. Because Utsuro is on the horizon. He'll defeat Utsuro first. He has an ace up his sleeve. Don't do it. You got to defeat Utsuro. It's no. I think it's kind of neat we're getting this like kind of exposition for Gintoko's eyes. I think that's actually kind of cool because it's actually a little bit different than having it always through Ray. But the actual the way he played was a bit dense. Holy crap. Oh, okay, I get you. I meant dense in the sense of how characters play. I was like, wait, what? He's found a cat. Take the cat, yo. That was kind of cute in the end. Damn, son. It very much feels like a video game when you think about it. But he kind of feels like the very final boss of something you have to take down. You kind of like it for that reason. It's kind of cool like that. So it's actually a play to not lose kind of version of shogi as well. So I guess it's play to win and play not to lose. I guess, which really, when you think about it, sounds almost the same, but it isn't. It's kind of weird. I kind of like how there's no OST for Ray's game. But it was OST for Gintoge's game. Or Goldor's game as well. I thought it was actually kind of neat. So it kind of just tells you straight away how like intense these kind of characters are compared to each other. And it starts the soundtrack. But isn't it almost as kind of hard hitting as Goldor's one, which actually is kind of weird? You get what I mean? The soundtrack isn't as kind of hard hitting. It's kind of a little bit softer. Holy crap. So wait, did he lose? Holy crap. Well, damn. This makes sense when you wait. The more you look at it, kind of, you did kind of lose that. There's things I'm still trying to learn how the hell shogi works. So did he lose in the end then, or did he? Is there like some kind of salvation there? Huh. Oh, he lost. As I say, it sounded like there's a bit of salvation in there when he said, "Let's continue." I was like, "Wait, what? Did he lose or didn't he lose?" So does that hurt his chances of actually fighting Goto then? Or does he still stand a chance of actually getting towards Goto? Oh, okay, I get it. Oh, really? Damn. It's a shame because now cause the whole entire thing we wanted to happen is now gone. It's actually kind of depressing. Damn. Okay, dokie. Okay. That was an interesting episode. Very interesting episode, to be honest. I liked it. Kind of depressed the fact that he actually lost in the end because I want him to win to actually defeat Goto, actually kind of put him in his place. But in the end, we really just can't have everything that we want. It's kind of depressing. Although I kind of liked how it all played out because we thought to ourselves, it didn't look as bad as it kind of did. But then as soon as Ray realized, he kind of like freak it out. No, it's like no. It's like what happened? Where did it go wrong? It's like you're trying to figure out where did it go wrong? How did you muck up? Where was it? It's actually kind of interesting because you now have to kind of go back and rewatch where it kind of mucked up. I thought it actually kind of was interesting. It looked like it was entirely his fault. He said at what point would I start defending? Because he said he was meant to be attacking, but he's actually defending. So I guess he unconsciously realized himself, but actually realizing truly that he actually was losing, which is actually really interesting in its own right, because it didn't look as bad as it did, but then it was completely awful. You're like, oh Christ, when you realize, like, damn, okay. But the visuals in the episode were interesting. I must say, Christ, I quite like them. I quite like how they went about doing the whole entire like recap bit. That was actually really interesting because I'm just fearing what's going to happen to Ray's character once again. Is Ray going to go back into his rut he was in before? Because literally, he had a determination. It's all lost now. Like, it's gone forever until he actually manages to be able to fight him once again. Like, it's kind of depressing. But it's... That was the problem. That's the kind of thing I realized as well. When he said originally about him ignoring, I thought to myself, he must be thinking to himself, nothing means anything before he gets to Goto. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because he doesn't see anyone else but beneath Goto as an opponent. He just kind of sees him something he has to get past, as if it's nothing. Like, he kind of inadvertently got a little bit. He might have so it does make sense if you realize that. Yeah, it's kind of cool once you actually realize where he kind of went wrong. It's kind of neat because I think maybe his determination was his undoing. Like, his undoing truly was his determination. It's actually interesting because he wanted to defeat Goto with all his might. Like, that was his thing he wanted all the whole entire time. But in doing so, he didn't think about everything else. Because I believe he was trying to figure out what his like kind of weaknesses were. But then I think he said at one point that he didn't come across as anything towards him. He didn't really mean anything towards him. So that's why he didn't kind of, as if he can. I actually quite like the fact they didn't really kind of show his face until the very end, like to kind of heighten that idea, to kind of heighten the idea that he's really meaningless towards him. Like, the only thing that he cares about is what's going forward. That's it. It's something he has to get past, and that's where you make the most mistakes. Like, that's what happens. You think to yourself, you're gonna get past about a problem. Like, this is just someone that you shouldn't care about. But that's the kind of crux when you think about it. That's where you make. Yeah, he didn't realize because I think he said he can't pinpoint a weakness in him, because I believe there was a weakness in every single person he's fought beforehand, but there was a weakness with him. But he said after that point that he didn't really kind of come across anything towards him. I was like, wow, that's one way to think about things. But yeah, I think that's the kind of problem he had. He kind of just didn't think about it and just kind of went forward as if, you know what, all I'm going to do is fight Goto and that's it. Like, he forward thought, and it kind of inadvertently destroyed him. Depressing because, again, he wanted to defeat Goto with all his might, but now he can't. He's kind of very much going on. Yeah, maybe inadvertently his loss is his wake up call. We never know. Maybe he actually might now realize that he needs to change, actually improve. Because I believe somewhere in him, he has to kind of figure out what's really going wrong with him. I think that's what he needs to get past, because when you think about it, he's very much going on the hero's journey. Like, he's kind of going on that very... It doesn't really kind of paint it as a hero's journey kind of thing, but deep down in the rest of his anime, it actually is a hero's journey towards the end. And I actually find it quite interesting how they're actually going about presenting Rei as a character, because he's a protagonist in the world, but he really doesn't seem so. Like, he's a strange kettle of fish, to say the goddamn least. That's what I kind of like about him. He's not the kind of character we've seen very much a lot in anime. He's different. He's got something about him which I actually kind of like. But I don't know to go forward now, because I'm guessing now it'll be him trying to figure out what he did wrong to actually kind of improve it. I don't know. I actually kind of want to see whether or not he actually gets past the rut, or he goes back into that rut and then someone changes him and goes, no, you know what, fam? This ain't right. This ain't working for me. Change yourself and figure out what you're doing wrong. Maybe Nick Heido will come in and basically just put him right. I mean, Nick Heido is that person he needs right now. We're not too sure. Because I think Akira and everyone else is his actual kind of escapism from his life. But not the kind of thing that would help him for the future of shogi. But I think Nick Heido is going to be that one person that actually might fix him. Actually might be able to kind of see him change. Because I actually kind of want him to change. I want him to become a better person. I want him to actually get out of that emotional rut he's in, because it's kind of getting overbearing for him. I don't think he'll be able to cope very much later. Like, because look, just happened there. His emotions got the better of him. Like, he might have actually kind of realized, he might have actually kind of won if he didn't kind of have that mindset that no one meant anything towards him unless he was actually Goto or the one beneath Goto. Like, it's kind of the wrong way of thinking about things. You shouldn't kind of... Yeah, it's gonna be great to see him realize all these things that he's done wrong and kind of just put them right. Like, sitting there going, Christ, I mucked up. I effed up this whole entire thing. I've got to improve. I've got to fix myself. Because it's just a weird way of thinking about things. Just to kind of glue yourself to something, but not realize everything else around it. Yeah, that's it. It's kind of bringing it back towards that whole entire idea of he's not kind of realizing the bigger picture. He kind of concentrates on one thing, and that's kind of his undoing at the exact same time. Like what happened when he was ill, and then he thought to himself, I have no one else around me that can help me. But he had a Kairi, Hina, and Momo that actually come in and help him. Same thing happened here. He kind of thought to himself, look, okay, no one means anything else towards me unless he's Goto. So I'm going to think that way for the whole entire thing. And that's his undoing. Like, he didn't think about the wider picture. He didn't think about what's going on around. He only thought about what's going on inside. That's the kind of problem he had. He had his mindset on one thing and one thing only, which was depressing because he mucked up. He effed up. He completely screwed up and lost. And I think it's actually interesting to actually present him in this way, because he's going on the hero's journey, literally, because at points in the hero's journey, he does lose. He doesn't actually kind of win all the time. A hero doesn't actually always win. A hero sometimes loses. We're seeing it very much here. Actually, kind of see it with someone who is less than the person he wanted to fight. It's even more interesting, because I kind of find it, because he just didn't think anything of him. He just went in there, just looked as if nothing meant anything, and he didn't realize himself he was making all these mistakes, and he was. I was like, damn, son. I don't know. Even with Gintoge as well, it's kind of interesting with him, because again, go back with him. One thing I actually quite liked about this episode as well, they kind of took this limelight a little bit off of Rei and actually allowed kind of Gintoge's character to kind of shine, because he's an interesting character as well. He's not the kind of typical character we've seen. I actually quite like him. So actually kind of get him to be the kind of center point of a part was interesting. I actually quite liked it overall. I really thought it was really neat, because it's one of those things I kind of wanted, because don't get me wrong, Rei's an amazing character, but sometimes kind of having that breathing space away from him is actually really freaking good, and actually did it in this episode, so I really can't actually say anything against him. Actually did a good job, I thought. He's got a cat now. He's calling life. It's true. See. It's like it's that whole entire thing with one door closes, another one opens. He got a cat. He kind of just gave us the whole entire idea of when a situation goes bad, sometimes there's a limelight in the middle of it. I thought it was actually kind of neat because it allowed the cat to be that kind of salvation for him. Like it wasn't winning the whole entire thing, don't get me wrong, but it's still a little bit of salvation for him to actually kind of allow him to actually have a better life in the future. I think Rain kind of needs that whole entire thing as well. I think Rain needs something like that. I think he needs to kind of just have something similar to what Thingy did. Maybe you never know. Maybe it actually might happen. We have no idea as of yet. But damn, I love the OST as well because the OST it kind of paints that picture as well of how lesser he thought of that person compared to Goto. Because when Goto was fighting Gintoki, you had that whole entire thing with the soundtrack. The soundtrack was kind of booming. It was kind of very, 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 very large. It was kind of eclipsing everything else around us. Like we concentrated most on this. We concentrated on the thing that kind of took the center stage in that scene was the visuals and the soundtrack. But once Ray went against his opponent, the soundtrack was much more calmer. It wasn't as kind of grand, which yeah, it was. It was kind of neat because it just showed you the presence that Goto has as the character, but at the same time, it kind of then almost tells you how I can't think of what I was trying to say then. I didn't want to muck that one up. But no, because when Ray was fighting his opponent, the soundtrack wasn't really much there, like as much. Like it wasn't as kind of grandiose. It was kind of a bit more calmer than usual. Like it was kind of a bit too lax. Like it was trying to tell us that the scene and what's going on in the scene is lax, but it isn't. I thought it's kind of neat because you would imagine that every single fight he would have, the soundtrack would be kind of overbearing and kind of would be very grandiose. But it kind of also then goes back to the whole entire idea of how he sees these characters and how he sees everyone else besides Goto as nothing more than anything less. I thought it's kind of neat. I thought the soundtrack was one of the more neater things of the whole entire episode. I thought, you know what? That soundtrack inclusion was good because they just told you straight away the kind of grandiose these characters have towards one another. I actually quite liked it. I thought, you know what? Can't complain. Can't complain here, 3 Guts No Line. You did a good job. You did a good job. It just actually kind of realizes all these things. Actually, kind of. Yeah, I think maybe that was. I think it actually was maybe to show his personality. I think the show needed to show us how he works as a character because we haven't really got to see too much of him on his own. We only got to see him with other people. To actually allow him to be on his own was actually kind of neat. I thought it was actually one of those things that I kind of liked. That's why the opening was so effective. But now, I have no idea what to expect. Like all I can imagine is Raisin probably gonna realize, holy crap, I did wrong here, and hopefully just improve, just fix himself. And Nikaido has to come in and kind of just put him right as well. And Nikaido must just say something like, "Look, fam, think about what you're doing here. Like, just don't do what you're doing right now." But to kind of get some clarification on how he works isn't too bad either. Like, we know how he works as a person, but to actually get that clarification on his own through the way he actually works as a person is kind of freaking neat. So yeah, all in all, Greato chapter, or Greato actual episode, or chapters, because it's 2 chapters per episode. Teshima Dota contest. Test Nikaido for Best Boy Award. You never know. I don't know. I think Nikaido just might be Best Boy still. I don't know. It's hard to choose, but I think Nikaido just slowly just creeps. He's so freaking cool. Just love him to bits. He's just Best Boy material. But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next week because it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be one of those things. And I imagine that someone had to put him right. Don't know whether or not it's gonna be Akari. Don't know whether or not it's gonna be Nikaido. Don't know. But all in all, I'm interested to see where it goes. So yes, with all that said, I have indeed been the driver. I actually see my voice is going a bit weird. So if you have enjoyed this stream as a whole, and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like because indeed it does help me quite a bit. If you have enjoyed what I do here, and you want to stay a little bit longer, then do leave a sub because indeed it does help me quite a bit. But until next time, I shall see you guys later. Bye for now.